The Bullpen Blues, an all too familiar song for Reds fans all around the world. If you're a diehard Reds fan like me, then you watch the Reds day in and day out, and you know just how bad the bullpen has been this season. The overall earned run average for the Reds bullpen right now is 4.68. That's the highest ERA in the National League. Guys like Sean Marshall, Logan Ondrusek, and J.J. Hoover have all struggled when they have come into the game to pitch. Take the Philadelphia Phillies series for example. When Sean Marshall entered the game, he had an ERA of 6. When he exited the 7th inning, he allowed 5 runs, doubling his ERA to 12.15. He has since lowered it a bit, and his ERA now sits at 10.24. Now I'm not singling out Sean Marshall here. Logan Ondrusek's ERA sits at 5.63, and not far behind him is J.J. Hoover, whose ERA is 5.95. Now I will give Hoover some credit. He has been on a streak of scoreless innings when he's come in to pitch, but as any Cincinnati Reds fan will tell you, don't expect that streak to last. You see, other teams consider J.J. Hoover Mr. Reliable. It's because they rely on Hoover to come in and throw some pitches which they can knock out of the park. Just ask Ike Davis. When the Reds were playing the Mets, J.J. Hoover came in to get the save. He then gave up a walk-off grand slam to Ike Davis to give the Mets the win, and Hoover's record has since become 1 win and 4 losses. Both Ondrusek and Hoover both struggled in the Washington series as well. When the game went into extra innings, both Hoover and Ondrusek could have another loss tacked onto their records had it not been for the outstanding defensive play of Brandon Phillips and Billy Hamilton. So the big dilemma facing the Reds is what to do with these 3 gentlemen. Hoover, Ondrusek, and Marshall could all be sent down to AAA Louisville. But sending all 3 of them down at the same time would totally deplete the bullpen. What most likely might happen is that the Reds will send down either Hoover, Ondrusek, or Marshall back to AAA Louisville while bringing up Jumbo Diaz from the bats. His current ERA sits at 1.54, and he is the best option for the Reds and their bullpen situation as it stands right now. Let's not forget about the Matt Latos factor either. Most recently, Latos started his AAA Louisville rehab assignment and lasted 4 innings, throwing 49 pitches. He walked 1 batter while striking out 3, and gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. As of now, Alfredo Simon is the 5th guy in the rotation, having been moved up from the bullpen to the rotation following Matt Latos' injury. Barring the possibility of the Reds using a 6-man rotation, one of these guys is going to move from the rotation to the bullpen when Latos does come back. Now at the beginning of the season, I, like many other Reds fans, will have said that Simon gets moved back to the pen once Latos comes back. But based on how Alfredo Simon has thrived in the starting rotation, my opinion has since changed on the matter. So with Alfredo Simon really thriving as a starting pitcher, I would say that once Matt Latos comes back, either Tony Cingrani or Homer Bailey gets moved to the bullpen. Both can usually pitch pretty well for the first few innings, but as the game wears on, they begin to tank. Cingrani has been showing signs of weakness as the game wears on, and his ERA has since popped up to a 4.06. Homer Bailey's ERA sits at 5.34, and considering the fact that he was rewarded a huge 6-year, $105 million contract, the Reds will expect his ERA to be much lower than that. While he does have a win-loss record of 4-3, that can be attributed not to his pitching, but to the fact that he is the most run support out of any Reds starting pitcher on the team right now. Bailey also struggles after the 3rd inning. Look how he performed in the Phillies series and in the Cardinals series. Now while the Reds did win the game against the St. Louis Cardinals in which he was pitching, that was due to great defense and great hitting. So far, the 6-year, $105 million investment the Reds put into Homer Bailey has not really paid dividends yet. But considering the fact that he has thrown 2 no-nos over the past 2 seasons, there is still a hope that before the end of this season, Homer Bailey can get back to that no-hitter pitcher form that he had last season. If not, the bullpen sure could use him for a good solid 2 to 3 innings. But hey, it's only May, and Major League Baseball has a long season. There's still plenty of time for the bullpen to turn things around and become the valuable asset it once was to the Reds teams of seasons past. Ondrusek, Marshall, and Hoover can still get back on the right track. And Bailey and Cingrani may be pitching well enough to stay in the rotation once Latos comes back, allowing Simon to head back to the bullpen. So hang in there, Reds country, and have faith. Because who knows, By the end of October, we may be seeing the Reds being led by a resurgent bullpen heading to the World Series.